Hi, my name is Brianna Peterson, and I will be talking about the responsibility of lead contamination and its concerns related to safety. There are three major points that I will be discussing. The first being safety, then leading into fiscal and economic related problems revolving around this issue, and finally the environment and the pollution that is affecting the population due to this lead. Those viewing may be wondering how this is going to persuade you to be more cautious and aware of the contamination that is occurring in the world around you. My answer to this is because a large majority of the state of Nebraska is home to people who enjoy the sport of hunting. By enjoying and participating in this sport, that would most likely lead most to the assumption that you would own a gun in order to practice. By owning and using said gun, hunters are held to the high majority of those responsible to the lead contamination occurring in the world right now. By understanding whom is responsible, it makes it easier to understand what initiatives may be taken to control and reduce lead contamination and up its safety regulations within the environment around us. Contamination safety is extremely important to the environment. In an article written by King in 2015, it was stated that multiple accounts of lead exposure had been implemented on employees of a gun range. Because of this, many employees have been susceptible to extremely serious health hazards that could have lifelong consequences. However, all of these health hazards could easily be prevented if lead contamination in the gun range were to be kept under control and within regulations. King states that these employees are the first that need to be aware of the issue to keep themselves safe during their time of work. He states that all of these health hazards can be prevented by wearing protective equipment such as non-baggy clothing and respirators. The proper cleaning of lead and dust particles is also extremely important. This proper cleaning can limit worker exposure and prevent even more lead contamination and lead transport into new soil and even to the water surrounding the environment in which it is used in the majority. By following these safety regulations, not only will you be protecting yourself, but you will also be preventing further contamination into the world around you. Like anything in the world today, money plays an extremely large role in understanding the effect of lead contamination. Not cleaning up lead contamination in the soil can lead to immense money problems. The Old Regina gun range has endured so much lead contamination that the business owes $1 million to clean up a plan approved by the government so that the contaminated soil will be moved and stored underneath the church parking lot, ensuring no plants and crops will be harmed by the contamination, according to CBC News. As well as the Old Regina gun range, Deason wrote a report in 2015 that the gun club in St. Petersburg, Florida is spending billions of dollars to protect from lead contamination by building a barrier. Said barrier is supposed to cost $25 billion to remove 496 tons of lead from the gun park and an extra $2 million to initially clean up the site and get the barrier built. By understanding how much money is being put into the cleanup of this source of contamination, it goes to show how careless people are when it comes to the lead cleanup. However, it is extremely important to constantly ensure that lead is cleaned up properly because of all of the harm and safety concerns that arise in the world because of this problem. The ways the lead harms the soil and the water within our environment is very detrimental, according to a study by Marohn in 2013. Population and pollution is a huge concern in the world today, and it is caused by an extremely large number of contaminants. However, with lead alone, it can easily lead to widespread contamination in the soil and in the water within numerous environments. If lead contamination problem does not get under control, this widespread of lead within the soil and water can cause an outbreak of lead poisoning within the human population. Many symptoms of lead poisoning are overlooked because they are so minor, according to Marohn as well in 2013. However, lead poisoning can be so severe that it can cause death. So in order to quiet down this concern, it is important that people everywhere begin to take initiative in being more aware and mindful of what exactly this lead contamination is doing to their world around them and what it could possibly do to themselves, their health, and their well-being. So in conclusion, it is extremely important to make sure that you are clean after leaving a hunting site, a gun range, or anywhere where lead is produced in high amounts or in high qualities. This keeps you from getting lead on yourself, which can lead to numerous health concerns, which can cause even more serious problems like lead poisoning or even death. If you have a gun club or a shooting range near you with high lead problem, it is possible that you can take initiative and volunteer to help protect other areas from being contaminated, so that there doesn't need to be a huge amount of money going in to try to fix the contamination problem at hand. Unless you and your gun club want to deal with a lot of money after you get done shooting, clean up the lead so it doesn't dissolve into the pollution, soil, or even the water. Like I said in my third and final point, discussing the environment, population, and pollution with lead, it is very detrimental and a huge concern that we have. So when dealing with lead, clean it up so you're not hurting the environment by such a little thing that later will become a tremendous, unsafe, and possibly even life-threatening problem.